Love after 60. 5 things men will never do with a woman they don't respect. Watch closely. After 60, if a man doesn't do these 5 things for you, no matter how many times he says, "I love you," it's not real, it's routine. Men express affection through words, but they show respect through action. And without respect, love is just a performance, something said to keep you hopeful, not something done to keep you safe. Respect is the foundation of every lasting relationship. It shapes how he speaks to you, how he listens, and how he shows up when you're not around. It's what turns words into integrity and promises into presence. And when it's missing, no amount of "I love you" can fill that void. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. In today's video, I'm going to share 5 things men will never do with a woman they don't truly respect, and how recognizing them can protect your peace, your self-worth, and your heart. Because after 60, you deserve more than affection. You deserve reverence. And understanding men means knowing the difference between the different two. Before we dive in, if you're a woman after 60 who's ready to stop settling and start seeing clearly, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Here, you'll find insights on love, dating, and relationships that honor the woman you've become, not the woman someone else expects you to be. Now, let's begin with the first, and it's the foundation of all the rest. Hashon. He won't listen with presence. Can you remember the last time someone truly listened to you, not to respond, but to understand? Because that's the difference between a man who respects you and one who merely tolerates you. When respect is missing, he hears the sound of your words, but not their meaning. Conversations turn into interruptions. Your emotions are labeled as too much. And the moment things get real, he changes the subject, not because he doesn't care, but because your truth makes him uncomfortable. This is one of the most overlooked signs he doesn't respect you, but it's also one of the clearest. Because active listening requires emotional regard. It requires presence. And when a man respects a woman, he treats her voice as valuable, not as background noise while he's scrolling through his phone or planning what he's going to say next. Disrespect isn't always loud. It's not always shouting or insults. Sometimes it's in the quiet moments when he looks away instead of leaning in, when he nods but doesn't engage, when he says, "I hear you," but his eyes tell you he's already gone. Respectful men don't need to agree with you to listen to you. They don't need to solve your problems to validate your feelings. They seek to understand you, and that's how you know the difference between attention and acknowledgement. Attention is passive. Acknowledgement is active. And respect lives in the space between the two. When a man truly listens, he makes you feel seen, not judged, not corrected, seen. And that feeling, that calm, knowing that your words matter, is one of the most powerful forms of respect a man can give. Oprah Winfrey once said, "I've talked to nearly 30,000 people on this show, and all 30,000 had one thing in common. They all wanted validation. They want to know, do you hear me? Do you see me? Does what I say mean anything to you?" And that's what listening with presence does. It answers those questions without a poke. Single word. When you speak, does he lean in or does he lean away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because sometimes just naming what we feel helps us finally see what we've been ignoring. Because when a man truly listens, he makes space for your truth. But the next one reveals if he's emotionally safe or silently selfish. #2. He won't protect your dignity in public. Here's something most women don't realize until it's too late. Disrespect reveals itself loudest when others are watching. A man who values you won't joke at your expense to get a laugh. He won't embarrass you to look clever in front of his friends. He won't make you feel small so he can feel bigger. Because a man who respects you guards your dignity, especially when you're not there to defend yourself. This is one of the most telling relationship red flags. And yet so many women brush it off. They tell themselves, he's just joking. He doesn't mean it. But here's the truth about how men show respect. Public behavior reflects private respect. If a man mocks you in public, it's because he doesn't value you in private. And if he minimizes you in front of others, it's because he's masking his own insecurity with dominance. Men who respect women protect them even in silence. They don't need to fight battles on your behalf, but they will never let anyone, including themselves, treat you without kindness. I remember a friend of mine, Rose, who told me this story about her late husband. She said that whenever someone would tease her or make a joke at her expense, her husband never laughed. He didn't make a scene. He didn't argue. He would just quietly change the subject or redirect the conversation. She said, "He never fought for me loudly. He just never let anyone speak to me without kindness." And that, to me, is one of the purest forms of respect. Because protecting your dignity doesn't mean making grand gestures. It means refusing to participate in anything that diminishes you. It means being the man who, when people ask about you, speaks of you with admiration, not amusement. When a man truly respects you, he protects your dignity, even when you're not around to notice. He doesn't let friends talk down about you. He doesn't entertain conversations that question your worth. He shuts them down, not aggressively, but firmly. Because to him, your dignity is non-negotiable. And if the man you're with can't do that, if he laughs along, or worse, leads the joke, that's not love. That's convenience. And you deserve better. But sometimes, the biggest sign of disrespect isn't what he does in public, it's what he doesn't do in private. #3. He won't be accountable for his actions. Men who lack respect avoid responsibility like it's a disease. Some men deflect blame, rewriting the story so they become the victim. Silence becomes their weapon, a way to dodge accountability. And when you finally call it out, the story flips, until you're the one apologizing for being hurt. This is emotional manipulation at its core, and it's one of the clearest signs of disrespect in relationships, because accountability is emotional maturity in action. When a man respects a woman, he owns his mistakes, not because she demands it, but because her peace matters more than his pride. Think about it. A respectful man doesn't make excuses when he's wrong. He doesn't say, "I'm sorry you feel that way," which isn't an apology. It's deflection. He says, "I'm sorry I hurt you. I was wrong, and I'm going to do better." And then, here's the key. He changes, quietly, consistently, without needing applause for doing what he should have done from the beginning. But a man who doesn't respect you, he'll repeat the same behavior, only softer, until you stop questioning it. He'll wear you down with apologies that sound sincere, but lead nowhere. He'll promise change, but deliver excuses. And over time, you'll start doubting your own instincts, because he's made you feel like asking for accountability is asking for too much. In the words of James Baldwin, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And that's what accountability is. Facing the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. A man who respects you will face that truth. A man who doesn't will run from it and blame you for chasing him. Share this video with a woman who needs to hear this. Because sometimes we need someone else to say what we've been feeling but couldn't name. And if this message helps even one woman stop accepting apologies without change, it's worth it. But even accountability isn't enough, because respect shows up most clearly when a man feels safe to be vulnerable. #4 He won't show you his true self. Men only reveal their authentic selves to women they deeply respect. If he hides his emotions, pretends to be stronger than he is, or refuses to share his fears, it's not because he's naturally guarded. It's because he doesn't feel emotionally safe. And emotional safety doesn't come from perfection. It comes from respect. As Brené Brown said, vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. That courage for a man only appears when he feels respected. This is something a lot of relationship advice for women misses. Vulnerability is a sign of trust. When a man respects a woman, he doesn't feel the need to perform masculinity. He doesn't need to be invincible or unshakable. He can be tired. He can be uncertain. He can be human, because he knows she won't use his honesty against him. But when respect is missing, so is vulnerability. He keeps his guard up. He presents the version of himself he thinks you want to see, not the version that actually exists. And that distance, that emotional wall, is one of the quietest but deepest forms of disrespect, because it says, I don't trust you enough to be real with you. I have a neighbor, John, who once told me something that stuck with me. He said, I never cried in front of a woman until I met my wife, not because I didn't feel things, but because I didn't think anyone wanted to see that side of me. But she made it safe. And that's when I knew I respected her, because I stopped performing and started trusting. That's the emotional connection with men that so many women long for, but so few experience. Because men are conditioned to hide their softness. But when they meet a woman they respect, that conditioning fades. They stop pretending. They stop posturing. They just are. When a man lets you see his unpolished, unguarded side, that's when he's not performing, he's trusting. And trust, built on respect, is what turns a relationship into a partnership. And once you've seen how respect allows vulnerability, the next sign becomes impossible to miss. #5 He won't invest his time consistently. Time is the purest currency of respect. A man can buy gifts. He can whisper sweet words. He can send good morning texts and say, I miss you when it's convenient. But if he's never actually there, if his presence is sporadic, unreliable, or conditional on his mood, then his love is hollow. Trust me, as a man who's been through a marriage, I'll tell you this. Love isn't complicated for us. If you don't feel it, it's because it isn't there. My ex-wife was a good woman, kind, patient, everything a man could ask for. But deep down, I felt suffocated. Not because of her, but because I wasn't emotionally connected. I didn't want to spend time with her. I showed up out of duty, not desire. Every dinner, every conversation felt like I was somewhere I didn't belong. That's when I learned. When a man doesn't want to give you his time, he never will. You can't teach him to care. This is one of the most painful truths about understanding men after 60. Consistency equals emotional integrity. When a man respects you, he shows up not because it's easy, but because it's right. He makes time for you even when he's busy. He prioritizes your presence even when life gets complicated. Because to him, you're not an option. You're a priority. Disrespect hides behind excuses. I've been swamped at work. You know how things are. I'll make it up to you. But respect proves itself through reliability. It doesn't need explanations. It doesn't require convincing. It just shows up. After 60, you should never have to beg a man for his time. You should never have to remind him that you exist. You should never feel like you're competing with his schedule, his hobbies, or his comfort. Because a man who respects you makes room for you not out of obligation, but out of desire. When a man values you, his actions match his words. When he doesn't, his words are just noise to keep you waiting. And after 60, you don't have time to wait for a man to decide if you're worth showing up for. You already know your worth. The question is, does he? You'll never have to beg a respectful man for his presence. He offers it freely because he values your peace more than his comfort. And if the man you're with can't do that consistently, it's time to ask yourself, is this love or is this loneliness with company? Right now, you can save this video. Come back to it when you're feeling confused or uncertain. Because clarity is a gift we give ourselves, and sometimes we need to hear the truth more than once before we're ready to act on it. So if you're ever unsure about his love, don't ask how much he says it. Ask how much he respects you when no one's watching. If you've watched this far, you now understand the 5 things men will never do with a woman they don't respect. And more importantly, you understand that after 60, love should bring peace, not doubt. It should bring clarity, not confusion. Respect is what turns affection into trust and time into partnership. Without it, love becomes performance, something said to keep you hopeful, not something done to keep you safe. And you've lived too long, loved too deeply, and survived too much to settle for a man who gives you words without integrity. To borrow the words of Maya Angelou, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And a man who respects you makes you feel valued, seen, and safe. Anything less than that is not love, it's habit, and you deserve more. When you think about the man in your life, or the men you've known, what did respect look like? Or what did the absence out of it feel like? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help another woman find her clarity. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more lessons on emotional strength, self-worth, and relationship wisdom after 60. Explore the channel for more videos that will help you build the life and love you truly deserve. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.